Hi everybody, Brent Jones NuHomeSource Realty. How are you? Hey, I am in Dallas. I just wanted to do a quick Facebook Live for my wife's car. So this, by the way, this blingy steering wheel, it's not mine. Okay, I just wanted to go ahead and get that set up front. But let's do a Facebook Live real quickly about the current market conditions, real estate conditions, as per how it pertains to you possibly selling your house in the North Texas area. Before we get started, click notifications, follow me, like this video, leave a comment. I've mentioned it before. You know the old saying, what goes up must come down. The real estate market is insane. The seller's market is insane. I mean, absolutely. I've been doing this for 32 years. I have never seen a market like this where buyers ask for nothing. A lot of buyers are overpaying. They're paying cash. They're not asking for an option period, which means they're not even having the property inspected, which is a scary, dangerous thing. A lot of them, the very first time they actually see the house is when they're moving in. That's kind of scary too. It's almost like agreeing to marry somebody, and the first time you meet her is at the wedding. I mean, there's just insanity, you know, and you have to give a pint of blood and your firstborn child, and it's just absolutely insane out there. It can't continue this way. This is unsustainable. It's unsustainable, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It cannot continue. And we need the market to cool down, because buyers out there, I mean, seriously, if you're not what I just described, if you're not all cash, willing to overpay, asking for nothing, close quickly, even give the sellers a free lease back for several weeks or even a couple of months, you can't compete. And not everybody fits into that. Not everybody is cash. Not everybody has the ability to overpay. Not everybody wants to not have an option period. A lot of people don't want to give away their right to have the property inspected. I mean, if you were going to buy a car, a pre-existing car, would you buy it number one, sight unseen? Well, I guess you could. There's Carvana, but would you buy it not knowing anything about the condition of the property? You wouldn't have a mechanic come look at it. There's just a lot of scary stuff going on. The market needs to slow down. Now, by the way, DallasFort Worth, the Dallas areas, the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex is one of the hottest areas, if not the number one area in the country. Frisco, Texas, Frisco, McKinney, in Collin County, they've been some of the hottest areas really for the last 20 years, and they continue to be so. So areas in North Texas are some of the hottest markets, if not the number 1 and 2 market in the entire country. Things need to slow down. They need to slow down. I talk to a lot of realtors, and they say, please let the market slow down. Please let there be less competition. Please let it calm down to where when you go out and show a house, you at least have a fighting chance to get your buyers under contract. It needs to slow down. And there's indications. I left my crystal ball at home, but there are indications that the market is going to slow down. It's even beginning to slow down, and that it's going to continue to slow down in the future. Some of the indications are inflation is at a whatever it is, 40-year high. So if just your normal cost of living has now gone up significantly, that's going to cause a lot of buyers to have some hesitation about whether or not they do or don't want to buy a house right now. Gas prices are, I believe, at an all-time high. So again, that's another thing that impacts people's budgets and would cause them, gee, is this a good time for me to take on a mortgage expense with everything else? The war in Ukraine. Now, how that affects us is it's international instability. When there's something like that going on in the world, it causes a lot of the markets everywhere to be jittery. So it's just the instability and the uncertainty of what that causes. The Feds, as far as interest rates, the Feds have already raised interest rates, and they promise they're going to raise interest rates another 6 times in the next 12 to 16 months. They promise. What happens when interest rates go up? That means your purchasing power goes down. But the amount of home you could qualify for goes down, and your payment's going to go up. That would cause some buyers to not want to buy a house right now. So if we could get some buyers out of the market for whatever reason, Everything is supply and demand. So if you have a level amount of houses, but you have less demand, then the prices are going to stay where they are, or they're not going to go up as fast as they have been, or they possibly could even go down some. I'm actually seeing in some subdivisions, instead of houses selling in a matter of days for 105% above asking price, they're actually on the market for several weeks, and they're actually selling below market value. So you think that's a bad thing? That's actually not a bad thing. In this market that's been so insane, we need something to slow things down, to tap the brakes, to get back to normalcy. And I think it's coming. I think it's coming. Now, there's good and bad things about being in Texas. The good thing is that the economy, whatever going on in the country, is not nearly as bad in Texas as it is around the rest of the country. So if there is a market slowdown, it's going to be less severe here in Texas. So that's kind of the bad part of it. So the good part is we have a strong economy no matter what's going on with the rest of the country. And if the market does slow down, we will feel that slowdown here in Texas as well, but maybe not quite to the extent that, say, California, New York, Washington State, Florida, those areas would. But anyway, we need the market to slow down. The indications are the market is going to slow down. What goes up must come down. I think there's storm clouds on the horizon, if you want to call it that. But the market needs to slow down. Anything I can do to be of help. I've been in North Texas all my life. I've been in real estate here for 32 years. I have helped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of families sell homes and go find their next new home. I'll be more than happy to help. Even if you just have a real estate question and you want to chat, feel free to call me, text me, or email me. Brent Jones, NuHomeSource Realty, 214-649-4528, 214-649-4528. Bye-bye.